The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Tax the rich, feed the poor, till there are no rich no more.
There you are.
No, that's me.
Oh, shit.
Welcome to Pot Talk, everybody. I'm Jimmy Bell.
I'm Paul Daniels. And Jeremy's out there somewhere. I think he got booted off. He's trying to get back on, so...
We'll just...
Yeah, where do you want to start, Jimmy? Jimmy boy.
Let's start with the impeachment, because it's going to be a short one.
Yeah,
It's over with, right, for now, but now they're going to file 4 articles of impeachment. And these are the charges. Abuse of power, bribery, contempt of Congress, and obstruction of justice.
wow. They really stated that playbook, huh?
Yeah, they did, and for what I seen, because I heard most of the testimony, it's all a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, it's all hearsay.
Yeah,
Stuff you...
down to one guy saying, well, I presumed it happened. And the lawyers had a field day with them. Presume, he goes, that's nothing.
Your feelings is not
Exactly.
a charge. Or the guy in the restaurant, I overheard the phone call. Yeah, I'm sure you did. Did you see Chris Cuomo try to do it on CNN?
Yeah, I know it.
What a failure! Wow, he might be a family of privilege and stuff, but he's not the brightest bulb.
No, he ain't. He's probably the black sheep.
I forget where he went to college, but it was like one of the big ones.
Yeah, Harvard or something.
Or Yale or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure he got in on his grades.
He got in because of his father.
Yeah, of course. But I didn't watch much of I watched some clips on YouTube, some C-SPAN clips, and everything they said was it was stuff that wouldn't be admissible in any court. I mean, you can't talk in a court. You can't say what you heard somebody say. You have to have that person there and say yes.
Right. I heard him say, somebody you can point to.
Right.
Not somebody told me.
Yeah, heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend.
Right. Well, I presumed.
Yeah, that's another one. I presumed.
He kept saying it, and he even said, he goes, I've been repeating myself forever. I said I presumed.
Now,
and that's when the whole case went right down the tubes.
Now, was he never Trumper or something?
No. He actually donated to the Trump, but he's got Hillary Clinton lawyers working for him.
Isn't it the strangest bedfellows?
Ain't they? It makes
DC?
No sense.
They really are. They intermarry. Do you know what they remind me of? Hillbillies. They sell their kids off to the, yeah, you're going to marry this one, and you're going to marry this one, and the people from the media, they marry into the families. It's a really odd thing. It's almost ancestral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Soros's nephews married to Hillary. You got people on all the major networks married to people in politics, this congressman or that one. It's just odd. But then again, I guess you don't rat on family. You know what I mean? And if everyone's your family, then it's all in the family. Where the fuck is Jeremy? We had him.
We did.
God damn it, we were having good conversations too. And this is the truth. What, 30 seconds before we went on the air?
Yeah,
he got bounced.
Bounced. He should have been back on by now.
Yeah, what the fuck? Jeremy, if you can hear us, jump in.
He's probably rebooting his computer.
Maybe. Yeah, but he's got nice equipment, so he'll be back. If he's going to get back on, he should be back on relatively quick.
Right. All right, so the impeachment was done. That's what I wanted to get out of that.
Yeah, so there's no more testimony.
No,
to be given.
they're gonna refer the 4 articles of impeachment and then vote on the House to see if they're going to do it. And
then it'll go to the Senate.
Then we'll go to the Senate, yeah.
Right, and that's where it dies.
That's where it dies.
Oh, okay. There you go. They must know that they're not going to get him impeached. Well, I mean, they'll get the impeachment.
It makes their base feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It congeals the fucking loony left 20%.
Oh, I seen a clip of Joy Behar on The View.
Yeah.
Oh, and she was just pissed because the poll out saying Americans don't care about impeachment, right? And she was pissed because everyone should care about it, right? But one of the girls on there, I believe she's a lawyer.
Megan. Oh, okay.
No. Dark girl. Not like Indian or something. I don't know. Pretty girl. She's like, this isn't it. This is not it. The it is not there. And Joy Behar started losing her fucking mind, Jimmy, because somebody on the cast dared to say, she's like, it's not here. Yeah, he's a bad guy. She goes, yeah, he's a bad guy. But this isn't it. There's nothing there. Oh my God, you would have thought you cut her thumbs off.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Whoopi wasn't there. So she was in Whoopi's seat. So she was like controlling the show. I'm the boss now. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, and she got it shoved up her ass, and she didn't fucking like it. She didn't like it a bit. I was fucking laughing. I seen it on Salty Cracker. Fucking great YouTube site if anyone wants to go check him out. He lives in California, so he sees the shit that's going on.
Right.
Why the fuck he stays there, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, she was losing her mind. It was beautiful to watch.
Swalwell.
The fart heard around the world.
Yeah. And he happened to coincidentally jump up while there was a fart going on.
And stopped, dead in the middle.
Yeah.
Like any normal person would. Because he thought he wasn't going to be hurt. He thought it was going to come out, silent but deadly. Well, little did he know. And do you know what? I hate to keep mentioning him. The guy from Salty Cracker. He goes, it was so loud. He's like, where the hell was that mic? He goes, what was it? Jammed up his ass?
Is sitting on it.
Oh my God! And then MSNBC had to throw cover immediately, right? Oh no, that was the mug being dragged across the table. Fucking what's his name from Hardball? Chris. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Thank you. Yeah, that was me dragging my coffee mug across the table, right? So I was watching a clip from Howard Stern, and they were talking about it. And Stern's like, "I'm an expert on farts. That's what I've made a living on, basically." He goes, "So we're going to do a little experiment." And he got a coffee mug and he dragged it across his desk. And he's like, "No, it doesn't sound like that." No, he goes, "It was a fart." He goes, "What's the big deal? Wouldn't you have laughed?"
Yeah.
If it had been you, I would have said, "Yeah, sorry."
Yeah, didn't mean that.
Went to Taco Bell. But see, that shows you the mindset of the limousine liberals. They can do no wrong. They have to be perfect all the time. They've got no sense of fucking humor. None. Liberals have no sense of humor. I would have laughed my ass off. I said, you got that, huh?
All right, where's Jeremy? I need to get ready for the next shows.
Jeremy, where the hell are you? Hold on a second.
Maybe it was a joke.
What, he was going to stay on just right up until, and then he shuts it off and says, "Fuck you, you son of a bitch." I bet that's what he did.
He might have.
What an asshole. Do you know what? The evidence is there. He hasn't come back.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeremy was the one with all the fucking subjects. He was the one that had all the subjects tonight. We got shit.
No, I still got a few more.
Oh, what do you got?
Well, we did the Swalwell fart.
Swalwell fart. And that was a good one. That's a good one.
Congress passed a bill that they want the president to sign to back the Hong Kong protesters.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
And the woman in China is saying that's the wrong thing. She was in Hong Kong saying it's the wrong thing to do. We're going to listen to mainland China, not the U.S.
The Democrats are doing that.
But Congress did that on the road, not even asking permission. We're going to pass a bill.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make him look like an asshole.
They're trying to back him into a corner.
Right. They want him to go to war with China. You know what I mean? For the election, they want him to go to war with China, and that's their way of trying to set a trap.
What they want is the trade deal to fail.
That too.
That's what they really want. And then they say, well, see, he couldn't even do the trade deal. No, because you sabotaged it.
Right.
And you know that Trump supports Hong Kong, but he's trying to do the biggest trade deal ever with China.
But he also said, I side with President Xi.
No. You can have it both ways, Donnie boy. I mean, you can't.
No,
but the Democrats should have never backed him into this fucking corner.
There's something weird about Hong Kong. They don't go by China rules.
Mm-mm.
Even though China owns it.
Yeah, because they make a lot of money. China's a money hub. And they know if they dragged Hong Kong into the Chinese economy, it would just kill Hong Kong.
Right.
They get a lot. China gets a lot. Beijing, I should say, gets a lot of money from Hong Kong. And the British, you know what? They had no choice. They had to give it up. The lease.
No, they didn't, because the lease was for 99 years with an option of 99 more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so when they let it up,
renew it.
They didn't renew it.
Okay, so they could have.
They could.
It would have provoked China big time.
That's why they probably didn't do it.
And Britain's not the naval country it used to be.
We probably talked England out of doing it.
We may have. We may have said, you know what, this, we can't, support, our whole Navy into this one region because Britain's got nothing for a Navy compared to what they used to have.
Right.
They don't even have any full-size aircraft carriers. They got the little toy ones. I mean, and then you're going to fucking float them all the ways around the fucking planet? And China's Navy, although not huge, it could definitely take out Britain. Especially with the lines that they'd have to maintain being so far, England to, China. That's long supply lines. I mean, they had a hard enough time taking out fucking Argentina and the Falklands.
Right.
China would be a whole different beast. So, I just hate the Democrats for how they're just trying to sabotage everything. They'd rather watch this country fucking fail. Never did I say, about Obamacare, I did say I wanted that to fail. Because it set a bad precedent.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that I wanted America to get hurt by it.
Well, I don't want America to have public medicine.
Yeah, socialized medicine.
Socialized, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Registry of Motor Vehicles Healthcare.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is. And you wait in line just as long, and you're going to get just the same idiot you have to talk to at the DMV.
Yep. The bedside manner will fall to the wayside. And trust me, doctors would start...
All the good doctors will go to Europe.
No, because it's socialized medicine over there.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. Do you know what they'll do? They'll go get a law degree. That's what they'll do. They'll say, fuck it, I'll just become a lawyer.
Either
if you're smart enough to be a doctor...
They might start their own hospital with no medical insurance. You pay cash.
Yep. That's what they'll do. You'll see a lot of them, because they have them up in Canada. They're called super hospitals. What we call a hospital.
Yeah.
And they're expensive, but if you don't want to wait in line, and like in Canada, 6 months for a fucking CAT scan, you go there. And that's where their good doctors go. They go into private practice. Or, like you said, they open up clinics that, don't take the government insurance. They only take cash. Wouldn't that be weird? going to a hospital and like paying cash, like
Yeah,
you're
I
fucking
know.
buying a fucking transmission or
Hey,
whatever.
can you hold me over until next Friday? I'll pay you payments.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing you'd see hospitals doing. That you would actually pay them monthly, and they would be your insurer.
Right.
And then they would take the money.
And when you need a really expensive surgery, well, we don't cover that.
No. Because what they would do is they would invest it just like an insurance company does and make money off of your money. How do you think health insurance works? They don't just pay you back the money that you pay them. They invest that money.
Right.
So they make more money. That's how they can afford to give health insurance. Otherwise, your fucking payments are what? $300 a month, just say. Well, $600 even. One surgery would wipe that out, even if it wasn't a bad surgery. But hospitals should get into the game. Say, fuck you. People will come to us and they won't use the fucking government insurance. The only thing is, they'll tax you so high that you'll have no choice. Because you won't be able to give the other hospital any money because they'll be taking it all out of your paycheck.
Right. Everybody will be poor, and it'll be like the VA.
Yes.
The old VA.
Yep. Everyone gets shitty health care.
Everybody gets shitty health care.
Except for the people in power that create these laws.
And those are the people they created that whole VA is for the veterans for fighting in the wars.
Right, as a benefit.
As a benefit, yeah. And what they did is they screwed them for decades.
Yep.
You couldn't fire nobody in the VA?
My dad was in the VA one time. I forget where it was. And, yeah, Jeremy's
Here
back.
he is.
And I'm Jeremy Gibbs. Did I come in late?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little pause there.
And,
Well, just let me finish this one thought, Jeremy. And,
yes, sir.
I went to go see my dad in the hospital at the VA. Dude, it looked like something out of the 1920s. I was a young kid. It was probably in the 80s.
I mean, he was wearing a flapper skirt?
Yes, and doing the Lindsay.
Shit. Okay, I didn't expect you to play along that easily.
And the guy that removed his bedpan was a Negro.
He was of the opposite color.
Yes.
Yeah, his black to my white.
Yeah, but the VA, it was like I said, it looked like something from, the past. Not like 10 years ago. Yeah, he spent one time there and after that, because my mother had health insurance. She held the health insurance. My father never used the VA again. Never.
No.
Well, no, the fucking VA sucks ass anyway, but...
Well, then it did, yeah. It's supposedly good now. They can get to go to their own doctors, no waiting.
Right, because they don't have to go to the VA.
Yeah.
It's great now. They don't have to go there.
I wonder how many doctors there got laid off.
Oh, none will get laid off. I wouldn't care if there was one person in that fucking waiting room, right? All them doctors would still be working because they're on the tax dollar.
Yep, they gotta account for that.
Yep, because if they lay off one person, they lose fucking funding. You don't want to set that precedent. You want to go up.
I like to get rid of VA altogether and do the public hospitals. And we should get rid of it altogether because it's a waste of taxpayer money.
Right, because of the bureaucracy and everything.
And they bring on
gotta think about it before FDR's, or what was it, the Works Progress Act, none of this shit would have happened.
Yep. Yeah, he what a douche he was, huh? What a fucking... FDR was a douchebag.
He was a douchebag, but the public, especially during World War II, they loved him. He was the greatest fucking thing ever.
Yeah,
because they only saw one side of it.
Yep, that's right.
They didn't see what he was doing in the background.
Because the fucking exchange of information was so primitive.
Mm-hmm.
You got your news at the theater. Or on the radio. But I mean, just imagine getting your news once a week.
Yeah, the Japanese found the Hawaiian Islands, through what was usually a public radio broadcast.
Yeah, they just zero in on it. Fucking, the Japanese found it. Do you know what would have been great?
They knew where Pearl Harbor was, but they didn't know what was going on until they heard that radio. So, not to mention the fact that they had operatives in Pearl Harbor. But
what was the island there? Oh shit! What was the Caribbean island we went after to get the college students out, Jimmy?
What is it?
The Caribbean island we went to get the college students out.
You're not talking about Grenada, are you?
Yeah.
Back in the 80s.
My buddy, right? This kid, I haven't seen him in years, but a good dude. He was in the airborne, and he's on the island. Do you know what they did? The company commanders were handing out phone cards. And that's how they were communicating, using public phones with government-issued phone cards.
Yeah. And the troops were eating bugs and shit to survive.
I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's what, that was...
I know a guy who served in Grenada. It was... To hear his story, yeah. It was like a horror story. They cared more
over the island.
They cared more for what was going on there than the troops they sent to stop it.
Well, do you know what it was? It was a fuck up. It worked out, but the logistics weren't there.
Air in the hands, mother stickers. This is a fuck up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my buddy Marty said, he goes, it's so weird. I'm in my full combat, and here I am at a payphone, calling in my location and stuff, using a fucking phone card. All because we had to get them rich kids out of there.
I spoke to Billy Bob earlier. He couldn't come in because he's at work in Lower Alabama.
Did he say he'd come on in the future?
Yes.
Good. Looking forward to seeing Billy Bob. I haven't had a good argument with him in a while. I just
tell him that. He's on his moped somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, he's at work. What, out at the still?
He's at he's on his moped, towing mopeds somewhere in the south.
Yeah. He's working at his fucking meth lab.
I shouldn't say that. If he's listening, I'll get my ass kicked. Love you, Billy Bob.
I got a couple states in between me and him.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't have much of him at all. He could actually be there in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'd say he'd be there in less than about 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful.
He's got a really high-speed moped.
Oh, hey, just to bring it up, do you mind if I bring up what happened here today?
Oh, no, you can bring it up.
Okay. Yeah, we had a neighbor of ours shoot himself in the head today. Well, they think last night. He's still alive. He shot himself right in the forehead. He's still alive, and they think he had been sitting there for like hours and hours and hours. Conscious. Yeah. He was conscious when people finally broke into the house to see if he was okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
He clearly, it was not his time.
Yeah, he should have Googled that. I'm just saying.
Well,
I would Google that one.
Really, if it'd been one of us, do you think we'd still be laying? No. There's a reason that man is still around.
Yeah. It's called he shot himself in the wrong part of the head.
Thank God he had a wooden plate instead of a steel one.
Yeah. And a shame, too, because he was a good guy. I'm talking about him in the past tense. They don't expect him to make it. He's at Mass General, which is probably the best hospital in the world. You know what I mean? So if he is going to make it, he's at the right place.
Yeah.
By the sound of things, he made it several hours just laying there without medical attention, and now he's at a hospital. I don't know.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah. There's a reason he's still breathing.
I won't be going in there when it comes time to clean, because he's a renter. He doesn't own his trailer. So eventually we're going to have to send somebody in there to clean the place. Or hire. We'd actually have to hire somebody, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you can't just have a regular cleaning crew go into where somebody shot themselves.
Well, no, you get rid of that. That's how you're going to get rid of it. But as far as cleaning the trailer, it's whoever's going to buy it. You buy it as is.
No, but I mean the blood and stuff. That's going to be cleaned up by professionals.
No, you could just take the bed mattress, bring it to the dump. That's where all the blood is, right?
I don't know where he shot himself. I mean, I know he shot himself in the head, but I mean...
Why is it beginning to sound like Jim's a murderer?
Yeah, really? Like Jim's done this before?
He knows what's going on and how it works.
Like, you just pull up the carpets, get some spackle.
Right. Relax. We'll just claim it was a technical glitch. He has technical glitches all the time.
Get a mop and a bucket full of bleach.
Yep.
And he screwed up the damn console again. He got bleach on the console.
And I hear all these people yelling, and I'm like, what the fuck now? You know what I mean? This place is a fucking insane asylum.
Well, look at the two people who live there.
No. Jimmy and I, right? Probably two of the most people here.
Yeah, I knew you guys were going to do that. Excuse me while I go shoot myself.
Please do.
Please do. I love you too, Paul.
Hey, we need ratings. Do it on air.
We'll wait a couple hours before we call the ambulance.
Yeah, we'll just finish the show.
We'll just finish the show. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm laying here on the floor, flopping around like a dead fish, bleeding out.
Man.
Just how long does it take to bleed out?
It depends on the wound.
I guess it does. Different time for different wounds.
Yeah, also, it just depends on how much vodka you got in your system, too.
How the fuck did he bleed out? If he had just say 10 hours, we'll just say 10 hours, all right? It was probably longer than that. You shoot yourself in the fucking head.
When your blood coagulates, whoever it was leaking from.
I am guessing that by the time they found him, if he did not bleed out, that bullet did not penetrate his skull. The concussion alone knocked him out.
I don't know.
If he was alive when they found him?
Yeah, he was alive and he was talking.
Okay, then. Yeah, my guess is the bullet didn't penetrate his skull. It's the concussion from the blast knocked him out. Granted, he might have a hole in his head or
everywhere.
Well, yeah, he put a gun to his forehead and pulled the trigger. That doesn't necessarily mean it went through his freaking skull. If that had went through his skull, he'd be a vegetable. There's no way.
Or something, yeah. Maybe he had a bad angle. I hate to even.
That's what I'm saying. I'm more or less. It's like skipping rocks across water. I think he missed anything vital, and predominantly knocked himself out. But that doesn't mean he won't die because that's a serious amount of trauma.
There's always something in this fucking place. I want to fucking get the fuck out of here.
I was just sitting there thinking, don't you think it's about time you guys moved?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Well, especially because I'd probably get 4 times what I paid for the place now.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Especially now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Trump gets in again, then I'm really going to start thinking about selling it.
If you don't sound too positive about that.
Well, I know, but I don't want to say when. Because then fucking, if he didn't get in, which I doubt will happen, then fucking somebody, when you said when he gets in, don't you feel like an idiot now? That happened.
Well, have you guys seen that Facebook meme about impeachment? As Trump gets impeached, and by default, Pence becomes president, pardons Trump, and then he
elects him,
makes him his vice president.
And then he resigns.
Then he resigns, and Trump becomes president.
Well, I was watching. I forget what it was. They said, well, if Trump gets impeached, Pence comes in. Well, we'll just impeach him too.
Exactly. I keep telling people, why do you think they're going after Pence and Trump? They're not just going after Trump, they're going after Pence as well.
Because they want to install Pelosi as Speaker of the House, would become president.
Yeah. And then she would be just nothing more than an Obama puppet.
Oh my God, that psychopath in the presidency. Wow.
President Pelosi.
Yeah. Now, what I'm like.
Excuse me while I go.
Yeah. Then I'd go join my neighbor.
Right, dude. Now I know why you did it.
He was a hippie dude, but he was a conservative too, which was kind of weird.
It's more than kind of weird. You don't typically see a conservative do something like that.
Yeah.
That kind of desperation typically only comes from a Democrat.
Yeah, suicide's universal.
But have you guys noticed that everything that's going on lately is all about preventing Trump from defending himself?
Of course, yeah.
Makes you wonder, who's pulling the strings if it's not Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, of course, not only tried to prevent Nixon from defending himself, but she got caught destroying evidence in order to make that happen.
Yeah, she was thrown off the
panel. She was an attorney on the panel. Yeah.
Yep.
And her boss says he had never met a more dishonest and unethical lawyer than Hillary Clinton. And he was a diehard Democrat.
He was a Democrat, absolutely. Well, Democrats had morals back then.
Yeah, well, that's what I was getting ready to say. That there's a difference between Democrats now and Democrats then.
Oh, yeah.
Billy Bob would refer to them as Blue Dog Democrats. Which is,
exactly, yeah. A John Kennedy Democrat.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why John Kennedy was assassinated. I don't care what anybody says. He went against, the party line, and that was it.
Well, he was on. He wanted to get rid of the what do they call that? The Federal Reserve.
Well, yeah.
He hated the Federal Reserve, and he had shit on them.
Yes, he did. But did you know? Speaking of this, and nobody ever believes this theory when they hear it. I mean, you could research it if you wish, but everyone who was anyone that opposed the formation of the Federal Reserve died on the Titanic.
What? They all died on the Titanic?
Yes, the biggest opposition to the formation, mind you, back when the Titanic sank, the Federal Reserve was not an actual entity yet.
That was in 1912.
Yeah, April 14th. But I'm trying to think of who it was. It was J.P. Morgan Chase, who was pushing the Federal Reserve, I believe, at the time. And all his opposition died on the Titanic. And the ironic thing was, is that nobody believes this, was J.P. Morgan Chase canceled his passage literally hours before it was to leave dock in Southampton.
What are you saying? That the fucking the captain steered it into a fucking iceberg?
No. I think it was a setup because they knew. I think this is why they sailed, despite the fact that there was a fire raging on board in one of the coal bunkers when they left dock. There was a reason all those guys were in the same place at the same time. And it wasn't just because they were haughty-taughty rich people who thought, wow, this is the greatest ship ever. We must all be there. No, that was a setup.
That's true. It was the place to be. I mean, it was its maiden voyage.
Right.
Yes, sir. But you would think if the Britannic and the Olympic had sank before that, they'd be questioning it. But no, they didn't question it. They took off anyway.
Yeah, I think it was the Britannic was the only one to survive its full lifetime. I think the Olympic was turned. Yeah, the Olympic was turned into a hospital ship.
I believe so. Yes.
In the Mediterranean, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was the Britannic was the only one of the three to finish its lifetime.
I think now, obviously back then there was no way to prove this, but I think the fire that was on board the Titanic when it set sail was actually designed to stop it from setting sail.
What? I don't get what you're trying to get to.
Well, think about, any cruise line nowadays. If there was a fire on board that ship, regardless of how much damage or how little damage it did, they would not set sail until that was repaired or taken care of. Back then, it was the same way. It was just, obviously less stricter standards. It was not a secret that there was a fire on board the Titanic when it set sail.
You mean it was actually burning as they left dock?
One of the coal bunkers was on fire when it left dock in Southampton.
That's just who in the fucking name of God would ever take a ship?
Well, they got their own fire department on there.
Well,
so what?
The ocean.
Their thought process behind this was because there were so many well-known people on board that particular voyage, they couldn't stop it. So what they did was shovel. I don't know how long this took them. I don't know how many men they had, but they shoveled more or less 3 tons of coal from one side of the ship to the other and burned as much coal as they could, which caused, I believe, a 3 degrees. Jesus Christ!
Have another drink.
Right. I've had 4 beers already, and God knows what else, but 3 degrees list, I believe, to the starboard side. And, I mean, if you look at pictures of the Titanic when it left dock, you could see that, but they also think that is one of the reasons the Titanic did not capsize when it sank.
I don't know. Conspiracy. I've always had problems with conspiracy.
It is, to me, it is definitely a conspiracy theory. But when you think about all the coincidences that had to take place in order for all those people to be in the same place at the same fucking time, had that ship not sank, do you think we'd have a Federal Reserve? That's what you got to think about. Had the Titanic not sank, would we still have the Federal Reserve?
I would like to think the answer is no.
Precisely my point. Then you have plenty of reasons. There were plenty of motive and plenty of reasons to kill them off.
I still don't get the story behind that, but it's really shady.
Yeah, it is. It's extremely shady. It's accountable to nobody for the most part.
Well, think about who all was connected to the Titanic, the builders, the J.P. Morgan Chase, I do believe, actually financed building of that damn ship to be. So, thinking the ship would have been covered by insurance, believe it or not.
No, that was part of the White Star Line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Queen Elizabeth and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thought so. You see pictures of the Titanic and you look at it and you go, wow. And then you see some of the fucking cruise ships we have today. Yeah. It looks like a fucking lifeboat.
and believe it or not, that the fire that was on board the Titanic actually managed to save lives.
Yeah, it gave people more time to get off.
Well, because of that fire, It caused them to shift all the coal that they couldn't burn to one side of the ship, causing it to list. Otherwise, when it had struck that iceberg, it would have toppled over onto its side and capsized.
Why were they using coal and not oil?
It was a steam engine. You got to think this is what, April 14th, 1912? What kind of engine are they running in that ship?
I'm sure there were plenty of fucking oil fucking engines.
Steam came before gas.
Right, no, I know that, but 1912, cars were on the road.
Right, but there was to push a boat like that.
Nobody's
made an engine that. Nobody made an engine like that. They did it in
It's
steam.
not the engine, it's just the source of heat.
But it's still the source of power.
Right, but you can take a steam engine and run it on fucking oil.
They had. That's what moved trains. They came up, whoever designed the boat, they designed it for steam.
They probably should have designed it for oil. A lot easier to fucking deal with.
Okay. I'm going to look this up while we're sitting here speaking, but did you know to this day, believe it or not, there is one White Star Line ship still left in existence?
Isn't it the Queen Mary?
That's what I'm getting ready to look up to find out which one it is.
I think it's the Queen Mary, the Queen Mary 2, or the Queen Elizabeth 2, or something like that. It's a queen.
Are we talking about the one in California?
I've seen it in Boston once. Yeah, it's docked in California.
Right.
Yeah.
I seen it when I was there.
Yeah, I seen it in Boston.
Long Beach.
It was docked in fucking down in down by the Edison plant in Salty, where they have the cruise ships come in.
Right.
And I didn't even notice it.
1949 reverted to the name Cunard. The last surviving White Star Line ship is the Nomadic.
Oh, really?
Which is to be restored with help from Harlan and Wolff and Nomadic Preservation Trust.
What are you gonna do?
Which, by the way, according to this, the Nomadic was about just a little over half the size of the Titanic.
Oh, so a tiny little thing.
In comparison, yes.
That sounds like air.
Yeah, pneumatic. It does. That's how.
It's nomadic, nomadic, which means to roam.
Roam. I've seen the Queen, whatever which one it was. Like I said, I looked at it. It wasn't impressive. I didn't even notice it, to tell you the truth. My buddy Scott, he's like, "Oh shit, check that out."
A lot of people believe that back then, that people weren't smart enough to plan something like that.
What do you mean?
Plan to sink a ship with all your opponents on board.
No, that's bullshit. The Greeks were doing shit like that.
Yeah.
You get all your enemies together and you fucking kill them all at once.
You gotta wonder that when you're trying to form the Federal Reserve, and anybody who could oppose it is on board the Titanic when it sinks. Now, granted, that's just conspiracy theory, but
yeah,
had they had the technology we have today back then, I don't think we'd have a Federal Reserve.
I don't think so either. And you know what? The world would be a better place without it.
Well, yeah, because the Federal Reserve is privately owned, technically, so.
It just have that much fucking unchecked power and wealth. It just, I don't know.
And they knew that.
If we knew what was really going on, we'd all just run and jump off of bridges.
The unsinkable Molly Brown, that's one of the reasons she became such a popular figure in history, is because she questioned those people. She questioned what happened on that ship, and was one of the only opponents supposedly that survived, and they referred to her as, as the movie said, James Cameron's Titanic, and what was that, 97, they referred to her as new money, and she quite literally was new money. She inherited it, so to speak.
You ever see the Titanic?
The ship?
No, Titanic, the movie. James Cameron.
If you can ignore the love story part of that movie, it believe it or not, is very detailed in what happened to that ship.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't it like 3 hours long?
Something like that, 3.5.
Oh, no fucking way. I'll never do it.
I watched it once.
I'll watch a documentary on it. A real documentary. I love it when they make movies where you already know what happens, like the Hindenburg in Surround Sound, and it's like,
oh, the
humanity. What the fuck happens? Well, when Tom Cruise made that movie about the assassination on Hitler, Valkyrie or whatever,
yeah,
it's like, I know what happens.
But that, believe it or not, I thought that was a good flick.
Which one?
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, yeah.
I've never seen it. You know what? I probably should watch that, actually.
I think I have it on DVD or Blu-ray around here somewhere.
I'm not a huge fan of Tom Cruise.
I can't stand Tom Cruise because he's a Scientologist, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. You know what Tom Cruise's best movie was? Tropic Thunder.
No, his best movie was...
Tropic Thunder! When he played the fat guy! He was in the fat suit and shit!
What was the one that had a mask on when they were having sex and shit? What was the name of that one? Tom Cruise. That he played with his wife there. She was in it too. And she showed her body.
I know you're talking
about Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Oh, Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut. That was a Stanley Kubrick. I like that fucking movie.
Never seen it.
It was really good.
But most of the shit I see Tom Cruise, it's just, it's him. And that's what it is. It's him. Like I said in Tropic Thunder. Did you ever see Tropic Thunder?
No.
You never seen? Oh my God. They put him in a fat suit. He's bald, right? And he's like a Hollywood producer, and he's a real fucking scumbag, right?
Does he play Harvey Weinstein?
Do you know what? I'll bet you that's who they modeled it after.
Yeah,
now that you mention that, right? And he's a real fucking scumbag. And I'm looking, and I'm watching it with my wife, and I'm like, I know who that is. Like, what do you mean? I go, that's an actor dressed up like that. And she's like, what do you mean? I go, that's fucking Tom Cruise. And she's, no, it isn't. I go, next time they show his face and you hear him talk, the fucking, how they dressed him up was fucking perfect. He was fucking hysterical in it. Best movie Tom Cruise ever did, Tropic Thunder.
Eyes Wide Shut. I watched Tropic Thunder, or at least I tried.
You know, he's second in charge of the fucking, the cult of Scientology.
And who's the first, John Travolta?
No. What's the guy's name? Like McTavish or something like that. He's the boss. But Tom Cruise is second in charge, yeah. Nobody's seen his wife, not Tom Cruise's wife, the guy that runs it. Nobody's seen his wife in years, right? And whenever people report it to the police, they tell them, just let it go. Just let it go. Because that chick, Leah Remy there from
the Queens,
King of Queens, right?
Yeah,
she got out. Her whole family, she was raised in the church. Well, when she left, her whole family went with her. And she did that show on A&E about debunking the Church of Scientology. She was at Tom Cruise's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
And she brought up his wife not being around. And that was it for her. Just for bringing that up. She went from like one of the elites in Scientology to shit for making one comment. She goes, that's when I realized I had to get out. I've watched tons of shit on Scientology. And they do have tax-exempt status.
Scientology?
Yes, they do.
They're religion.
No, they didn't have exemption until, I forget which president it was. It was either Clinton.
More than likely Clinton.
Or Bush gave them tax-exempt status.
More like Clinton.
They didn't have it before that. Because they're not a church. They're a fucking... I guess you can say it about any church. They're a money-making scheme.
I knew a guy, a heroin addict, that had his own church. You got tax exempt status.
like Fred
A
Sanford.
little small chapel and the whole 9 yards.
Like Fred Sanford when he turned his house into the Church of A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y.
Well, this guy had property and he was making money, so he could afford his addiction.
His addiction, yeah, great.
But he was a pastor.
Jesus Christ.
You know, and then he had diabetes, legs cut off.
I guess heroin's not very conducive.
Okay, you guys, history buffs. When was the last White Star Line ship? When did it sail? For the last time.
I wouldn't know. I don't.
1972.
I don't take cruises.
No, well, not all White Star Line ships were cruise ships.
1972.
No.
84.
No.
Right.
November
Tell us.
November 25th, 1960.
Okay.
The Britannic made its final journey from Liverpool to New York and then back to what they refer to as the shipbreakers under its own power.
It was the one that finished its lifetime. I knew it wasn't the Olympic. I knew that the Olympic got torpedoed.
I never heard of any of these ships.
The Titanic wasn't the only ship of
Well, no, the Titanic I heard of. You're talking Britannica and then what was the other one?
They were their sister ships. When they lay a keel, they usually lay 2 or 3 keels of the exact same design.
Yeah.
And faster. And it was the Titanic, the Britannic, and the Olympic.
And despite this, up until, I believe, November of 68, the people who bought out the White Star Line, which was Cunard or something like that.
Oh, yeah, Cunard Lines, yeah.
They only flew White Star Line flags up until 1968.
Were they involved with the Federal Reserve?
Well, I don't know about that. Which would not shock me a bit if they were.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
They had a shit ton of fucking ships back then, though.
Yeah, because that's what they did. They built ships.
But their last ship being built in 1949.
You ever been on a cruise?
No.
Me neither.
I have.
Don't want to be. I don't want to go on.
If I went on a cruise, I would fall overboard for being too drunk.
No, the drinks were free. I think the meals you got to pay yourself. It was one or the other. I don't remember. But it was there with a comedian, and I laughed my ass off.
I don't want to be on a fucking boat. I don't want to be fucking trapped on a boat.
Well, you're not doing this.
I know that.
It's like sitting in a fucking... It's a huge boat.
It's like a gigantic hotel.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
And with the Bahamas. Or Bermuda. I can't remember which one.
Jesus Christ.
The one that has the big...
You know what's really ironic is out of all the ships that the White Star Line built...
Bermuda.
Titanic is, believe it or not, left out of the list of ships owned by the Cunard Line, which let's see, the Olympic was built in 1911, and these were ships that were in service for Cunard. Titanic's the only one that's not listed.
Yeah, well, I mean, you really don't want to list your fucking loser.
Yeah, the one that sank. Take it off the list.
Yeah, fuck it.
Right, I guess
it's
so.
It's a laughing stock ship.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, though, think about what I was saying. All the opponents of the Federal Reserve were on board the Titanic when it sank. Every fucking one of them died.
Yeah, well, wasn't enough lifeboats. They didn't even have enough lifeboats on.
Yeah, that would be a likely story or a likely excuse. I mean, what are the odds that the only people who opposed the formation of the Federal Reserve would be on board that ship when it sank?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually true, though. I'd have to see it.
Look it up.
I will research it.
All right, we got about 3 minutes.
We're definitely on board the ship, but as to whether or not.
Topic: Pfizer abuse.
Oh yeah.
You heard about this, right? All right. Yes, we don't have a lot of time. I did want to get this out. What was the lawyer's name for the FBI?
I don't remember, but he was a low-level lawyer that under Strzok.
Yes.
Under Peter Strzok?
Yep.
Yes.
He changed
He altered the documents.
Yes. So that they could
get the FISA warrants.
To spy on Trump.
To spy on Trump, yes.
Well, Carter Page, which is part of the Trump campaign.
And now, mind you, this was also done under false documents from a British spy, but...
yeah, no shit, the Steele dossier?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, if they had the why would he even have... fuck it. You know, it's just... Trump is exposing so much fucking corruption. It's mind.
Well, he's smart. He knows that if they impeach him, that the Republicans and his administration can make a bunch of them testify, exposing themselves.
I don't think they want this to even go to the... I don't even think they care if it goes to the Senate. I really don't. I think they just want to keep muddying the waters.
Well, yeah. That's the whole point. Go for the biggest charge, take the lesser.
Because they know they're not going to get 2/3 in the Senate. I mean, it's impossible. What's it, like 26 senators going to jump sides? 26 Republicans? For them to be able to get them impeached. There's no way 26 Republicans
are
going to jump.
It would not happen.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's why this is playing out the way it is, because Trump knows that in order to get him, they will have to expose themselves.
We got about 50 seconds.
Okay.
Or at the very least, expose people who will want to expose them to save their own asses.
Yes, exactly. The rats will start jumping the ship. Hey, Jerry, why don't you do a shout out to the troops for us?
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to the troops, especially one of our hometown heroes. I'll call him Billy Bob or Dave. My did you just giggle? My Uncle Dale, who served, my cousin Timmy, who served in Desert Storm. We thank you guys for what you do, and we love you.
You folks have a good week.
Take care, everyone.
We'll see you later.